Hey everybody, I'm Mort, lead designer of TFT, and this is the second video that's a preview of TFT Galaxies. Just like before, the stuff is in development, things will change, so what you see here is not necessarily exactly what's on PBE or what will hit live, but want to kind of give you a preview of some of the things you can look forward to in Galaxies. So let's jump right into it. So this was the game immediately following the one from the last video. And so we're going to try a different comp. No blasters this time. And right away we're going to try to get a tier. Because as a designer, what we noticed last game was that the Star Guardian player got dead last. And so we're like, we should probably test the Star Guardian comp. So that's what we're going to initially go after. And tiers are really good for the Star Guardian comp. Now, what's interesting is due to a bug, we ended up in the Nicoverse again. So we are in the Nicoverse one more time, which gives us some options, but we'll move forward from here. So again, if this is your first video, PvE fights are now themed towards the Galaxies, which is pretty cool. And Malphite is a rebel brawler who doesn't actually have an ability, kind of like Maokai. All he does is he gets a shield that helps him out. So, and again, we're a little low on gold, but at least we get a Poppy. Although maybe we're not going to go for it. Still figuring this out. So again, you have a lot less gold than you did at the start of Rise of the Elements. So, you actually have to make some tough decisions. In this case, actually, it looks like we're going to consider a Blade Master comp. Now we hit a second tier, which gives us a Seraph's option. So that's when we're like, okay, we should really consider the Star Guardian comp. Because Star Guardian comps are really good with Seraphs. So we grab that Poppy. Alright. Now we hit another Poppy, which is good for us. We need to move that tier anyway. So let's pick up the Vel'Koz's. Vel'Koz is, or excuse me, not Vel'Koz. Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is really good. Can carry that Seraphs for now also. Of course, I don't actually put it... There you go. Put it in. Kha'Zix is a reprint from set 1. So he's a 1 cost. This time he is Void Infiltrator. That's right. Void is back. But Void requires exactly all three Void to trigger, so... And just like before, if Kha'Zix ults and the target is isolated, it does a lot more damage. Now here we almost get baited, because we have 2 Ashes, which is a 3 cost. We got a really lucky early 3 cost. And it's like, should we maybe go Sniper? But we make the tough decision here to go in Econ range. We get our 2 Vanguard active, which is good early. That's 60 armor for both of those Vanguards. And we get Annie, because Annie is actually a really good frontliner for a Star Guardian comp. She's a good 4th Sorcerer. Her spell is much more defensive this time around. So, unfortunately for us, the enemy is grouped up. And its Dora baby is running Space Pirate, so the fight's not looking good. But we are 2 Vanguard against physical damage. So that does help us. And Poppy can be really tanky with her spell there. And so actually, we come back. So it's looking pretty good. Ooh, Darius gets a reset, but only 1, thankfully. And then gets executed by the Kha'Zix. Alright, so we hit that 2-star Poppy. We're looking good. We've got our 10 gold. Time to start building our economy. Looking pretty good. Now here we decide that, hey, maybe we should try win streaking. That win might be worth the 1 extra gold here. So we put in 2 Infiltrator. 2 Infiltrator is a pretty big spike. It gives right now the Infiltrator 60% attack speed for the first 8 seconds of combat. Which allows them to, here in this case, for example, jump back onto that Lucian. And with their boosted attack speed, get that Kha'Zix spell off and kind of give us the edge here. So from this point on, infiltrators are nothing special, but that initial burst allowed them to really take down the important target in the back. So... And so again, an early Kha'Zix can be really good here. Now, kind of interesting here is we get a Shaco, and so we could start considering a 4 Infiltrator comp if we wanted to. But we also hit the Ari, which is good for us. Now, one other thing to note is that 1-star units are a little more powerful overall compared to where they were in Rise of the Elements. They don't quite get as big a spell boost as they did. So this is to allow 1-star units to be a little bit more playable than they were in Rise of the Elements. So you should actually consider a 1-star unit not as much of a detriment. Now, so here again, we get our Infiltrators, and ooh, that Kha'Zix spell on Xayah gives us a key takedown here. So our hope is that Infiltrators feel a lot better than Assassins. They feel more fair, you can position around them, and they're not quite just like random crits, but it's actually like get their spell off. Now obviously Fiora not moving there was a bit of a bug. Should be fixed by the time you see this video. But yeah, it's a good start. Alright, so we're at the carousel. And now this carousel is unique. This is, you'll notice, this is all offensive items. So there are 2 of every offensive item and 1 tier, which is one of our new unique arrangements that can show up. We're hoping that this will be one of the more positive ones, because typically these offensive items are the more desired items. So when you see this carousel arrangement, you're like, sweet. Nobody gets stuck with the cloak. Now here we get the tier, and at this point we're 1 tier away from a double Seraph Star Guardian comp, which is like really good. So we're sitting pretty. Now we finally hit some Star Guardians. We never hit our 2-star Kha'Zix. We never hit our 2-star Kai'Sa. So we're like, okay, time to do this. And so we pivot with what we have. Get that Annie in there. And so now we're sitting on 3 Star Guardian, 2 Sorcerer, 2 Vanguard. They're all 1-stars though, so we're a little weak. So this is 5 versus 2, level 4, but 2 costs, or 2 stars. So we'll see how this goes. Now Annie's spell is a cone of damage that then shields her, so she's pretty good in the front line. Zoe's spell, again, targets the person with the most HP and stuns them. And Ari is a reprint, so we ended up in a good spot that time. And you'll even notice from the damage meter there that Ari does true damage, just like she did in the first set. So Ari can be really good at breaking through defenses. In fact, Ari's one of the really 2 viable carries for the Star Guardian comp. You can kind of make Nico work, but it's tougher. So right now we're sitting in a good spot. We're win streaking. We've got a decent economy for this set. So looking all right here. Ooh, now unfortunately here we get Zephyred and Blitzcrank. The old Zephyr Blitzcrank, still a good combination. And took out Zoe real quick. And that's a very tanky Malphite. Now thankfully they don't really have a ton of damage. Ziggs is not a ton by himself. Sona is doing a lot of healing though. Thankfully it's a 1-star Sona though. Another victory. So again, really good start here. Got our Zoe. And we're on to Krugs. So at this point, we're really hoping for another tier. If we can hit that tier, we are going to be in a really good spot. Get a little bit of gold. Not quite enough to hit the 40 mark, unfortunately. And no tier, so still haven't hit our, like, amazing power spike. We also need to hit a few more of the Star Guardians. Now again, one of the key Star Guardians we're looking for is Syndra. Syndra is probably the best carry in the Star Guardian comp. So if we can find her, we can really turn on this comp. It's kind of what we're holding the Seraphs for. Alright, so at this point we are up against the person in second place, but they have all 2 stars, so we're looking a little weak here. Probably not going to do well. And sure enough, their sniper comp is doing some work, and they win. So that's unfortunate. We take 9 damage. Nothing too bad to worry about. We do lose our win streak, though, which is unfortunate. Alright, so we hit the Soraka, which allows us to get 4 Star Guardians, so we're really looking for that Syndra. We hit our Ahri and the Syndra. Now here we take a big risk. We know we want the Syndra, and we know we want to spike hard, so instead what we actually do is we use the Nikos on the 3 cost, and we spike hard. We are in a really good spot now. And you'll notice I use Nikos on a 3 cost, not a 4 or 5 cost. For the Star Guardian comp, Syndra's big here. And so what you'll see is every time Syndra casts, she gains more and more orbs. And so every time she casts, that spell is going to hit harder and harder. And every time she's casting, she's giving her whole team mana. Seraphs on Ahri or Syndra is really big. In this particular playtest, Syndra's max mana was 50. We've since nerfed it to 60. So Ahri and Syndra both run 60. But yeah, if you can pull them off, it's real strong. So we have all the Star Guardians now that we hit that Nico. Like, we are almost ready to turn this comp on. Nico, Annie, and Poppy make for a good front line. We're all spread out, nice and safe. There's that Nico stun, kind of reminiscent of Kennen. The Soraka heal keeps us healthy, and as long as Syndra gets to cast a few times, people start dying. Boom. So now we've got the Star Guardian comp. It's on. We just need to get Zoe in there, and we'll be fully on. We've also got 2 Sorcerers, so our spells are doing 15% more damage. Very healthy spot. If we can get a tier, game's over. Alright, so this particular carousel just looks like random items. I ping the Blitzcrank to try to distract them from what I'm after. Somebody falls for it. I don't know if they actually fell for it, but it was funny. Now, oh, we don't quite get the tier. But thankfully we do get the armor. And the armor here gives us an interesting option of putting GA on Nico. Nico, again, is a good frontline. And her spell is a big AoE CC, very similar to like a smaller Amumu or a Kennen. And, oh man, we hit some 2 stars here. So things go well here. We say screw it. We're going all in. We're going to go for that early game power. And kind of funny, we basically have the comp straight from the article. We have the comp straight from the article, that 6 Star Guardian, 4 Sorcerer comp. So now our Star Guardians are doing 40% more damage. Actually, everyone's doing 40% more. Soraka's healing for 40% more. And we've got that Seraphs on Syndra. And everyone's 2-starred, so we have a lot of power. Nico casts, keeps everyone in place, and as they cast, you just see the power of friendship turns on. And they get wrecked. And from here on out, we're in a really good position, because now it's just about reinforcing this comp. So now we start to consider what do we want to put in at 8? Do we want to go Mystic? Do we want to risk it and go for 6 Sorcerer? Do we want to strengthen Poppy with 2 Vanguard or strengthen Nico with 2 Protector? We've got a ton of options at this point. So, but we did kind of go all in on it, so now we need to win streak with this power we've all in on and get back to some good econ. So here we have some time to scout. Somebody's got a 4 Vanguard, 2 Sniper comp going, which is good, except against Star Guardians, who just magic damage. We put Zoe as our blitz bait, works perfectly. Get that good Nico ult. Syndra's spell is also not random like Vygar's was. Syndra also aims for the highest HP. So good job, Annie. So yeah, really good spot here. And again, we're feeling pretty good because our goal was to try to prove that Star Guardian could be successful, and so far it's looking pretty successful. Oof. Look at that spell power. Clean it up. And we get another tier. So now we're just like, okay, game's probably over. We've got the double Seraph Star Guardian comp. Feels pretty good. And again, it's been nerfed since this particular playtest. But even now, it's still 2 Seraphs on a Ahri or a Syndra. Very good combination. Here we also create one of our new items, Shroud of Stillness. What this does is everyone in a line gets hit with the kind of anti-caster mechanic, very similar to Poison, where it increases their max mana by 40% until they cast once. So what you'll see here in this combat is we completely whiff. And that's one of the things with Shroud of Stillness is, unlike Zephyr, it can whiff. It can do absolutely nothing. Or he can hit like 6 people and hurt them all. It's a high-risk, high-reward item that requires positioning. But again, thankfully here, Syndra is just going to do a ton of work. And the other thing is, it seems like a lot of people in the lobby are still holding on to their Nikos, and so we're punishing them for that. Again, I can't stress it enough that sometimes the right choice in the Nicoverse is use your Nikos. Because now we're right back up to 50 gold. We're on a win streak. We've got everything we need. We are sitting pretty. Now, one of the things to note with the Star Guardian comp is we actually designed it to be sort of the beginner-friendly comp, the easy-to-put-together comp. It's like, grab all the Star Guardians, throw in one more Sorcerer, and you've got a comp. We figured Star Guardian in particular was going to be a very popular comp. So we wanted that to be true. But at the same time, we know it has some pretty severe counters. So we don't expect it to be S tier, but we do expect it to be a really good, solid top 4 A tier comp. Maybe if you get the perfect items like the double, triple Seraphs, then it can hit S tier. But yeah, pretty good comp. So now that we're up to 50 gold, we're win streaking, now we can start figuring out what we're doing. Because for now, it's just been kind of coasting on this really strong power that we've spent on. Time to work our way to 8, see if we can pick up something good. Because you'll notice a lot of the other armies are still sitting on a lot of 1 stars, which is really good for us. Toast is trying to run a blaster comp. Interesting. Now, blaster comp can really wreck the Star Guardian, so we do need to be careful of that. Speaking of which, but again, a lot of 1-stars in that comp. He's still running a 1-star Malphite, so that's going to be real bad. Nico's going to wreck that. And that's just over real quick. So while 1-star spells are more powerful this set, they still have the lower HP, and they can still get pretty much blown up. So you do want to start hitting those 2-stars. I'm actually noticing a bug as I watch this video, so that's okay. I'll fix that bug on Monday. So, this is why we also record a lot of our things and watch back to like make sure it all works out. So, but yeah, another round, another lot of defensive items on this carousel. So we play around that, and again, we're starting to really consider what do we want to run. Now we hit the Lux here, and Lux is an option because we could try to push to 6 Sorcerer. 6 Sorcerer is a very large boost, and we do want to kind of keep this win streak going. Its Dora Baby just hit the 3-star Darius. 3-star Darius is really scary with the right items. Now unfortunately they're at 11 health, but they do have 2 of the 3 right items. Like, this is going to hurt. Let's see how this 3-star Darius does. One, two, three, four. 3-star Darius using the Space Pirate to get a lot of gold. So that's pretty cool to see. Its Dora Baby has turned on the Darius. And again, that's a cool use of Nico's. So, if you've ever saw my video about the Volibear Munch bug, that was actually a side effect of us trying to implement Darius. So, there you go. So yeah, now we have the Vel'Koz, so we have the 6 Sorcerer. If we can hit level 9, we are sitting on a 6 Sorcerer 6-star Guardian comp, which is a very powerful comp. You can also hit that with a spatula item, but we don't get so lucky. Oh, it's that Darius player. Let's see how we do against them. Now, the Super Mech can do really well against Syndra, because there's a lot of health to absorb, but maybe not a double health, a double. So yeah, we get to cast a lot there, and unfortunately that's going to be it for its Dora Baby. Right before Raptors, feels bad. But it helped us tune the player damage a bit more, so. And yeah, GA counters that Darius pretty hard, because GA prevents the death, so the Darius doesn't get the reset. Alright, so we get our Lux, we're working our way towards 9, and we're on a real good win streak here. But yes, this exact playtest got Syndra nerfed, so... Lux spell is her Q, and it just goes to straight line and stuns everything it hits. So that feels pretty good. Now, unfortunately, we didn't actually do that well item-wise. We low-rolled on items. We only hit, like, other than the Seraphs, which was great, it's like a bunch of GAs. So we just commit, and we say, you know what, let's keep this win streak going. Let's keep this train rolling. We hit the 6-star Guardian 6 Sorcerer comp. Again, it's a very basic comp to put together, but a very powerful one nonetheless. So, We also move our Shroud of Stillness because we see that's where a lot of people are grouping up right now. So, see if we can hit some more people with it. And sure enough, here we're going to hit a Lulu with it, I think. Nope, never mind. We hit Fiora and Aurelia. So, now thankfully it's only a 1-star Aurelia, so we're not that worried. We kill Misfortune before she can do anything, because now we have 6 Sorcerer, a lot of power, and everything's just going to start dying, so... And at this point, we are in a comfortable position, feeling very confident that Star Guardian can succeed with Seraphs anyway. And now it's time to start greeting and see if we can hit any 3 stars. We get lucky and hit a 2-star Vel'Koz there, which is real nice. Vel'Koz with 120% spell power does a lot of damage. Now, if you can turn Vel'Koz into a Star Guardian, then it gets pretty nutty. But again, we don't really luck out and get a spatula here. Woof! And we're off. Power of friendship.
I got lucky. You'll get me next time.
So yeah, we're hitting the late game. We've got our comp. We're already level 9. We won streak most of the game. So yeah, we are in a good spot. And again, we want to make sure the Star Guardian comp can come together, be viable, has some cool build options. And this is definitely one of the better ones, if you can get the 6 Star Guardian, 6 Sorcerer comp. Oh, we almost had a disconnect there, but thankfully it all came back together. That's a scary Kale, and our Syndra gets Zephyred. But Zoe lands a nice stun on the thing with the most health. The timing on Zoe got us a little lucky there because right when the mech was dying, Zoe targeted, and that's the only thing alive. So yeah, good fight for us. So now we're just looking for an item that we can put on Syndra, because Syndra's kind of our carry right now. And what we see is basically it's Jeweled Gauntlet or Morello. Probably Jeweled Gauntlet. And sure enough, people are nice enough to give it to us, so... Some of the items you may not recognize there, that is the spatula item for Infiltrator. So you can actually turn people into Infiltrators, which is really nice. Alright, so now we have Syndra who can now crit. Somehow we're hitting Zoe's with a 10% chance, feels good. And now we have Lux. Alright, so now our whole army is 2-starred. We're in a great spot. What are we up against? Lunch Boy and his 6 cybernetic comp. So these are a lot of HP on these units, which can take us a while to get through. There's that Echo. Ooh. And Syndra dies here. Thankfully, Vel'Koz does some work. And this is probably the first fight that's like actually really close. But not quite enough, and that's the end of Lunch Boy. But yeah, Infiltrators are probably the big weakness of the Star Guardian comp, because if you can kill that Syndra before she ramps up, you'll probably win the fight. Alright, so we're down to 4 players, and we're still win streaking real hard. Again, other people should be building Mystics. We don't have true damage. There's no Mystics in this comp. Ooh, that misfortune ult.
For life. Chase the light.
Oof.
Going to get burned.
Now that was a misfortune ult with no items, unfortunately, so it didn't hurt that bad.
What's your name?
We get our normal Kayn encounter. Thanks for the free QSS. Now QSS has been nerfed this set. It now only lasts for the first 10 seconds of combat. Still pretty good for starting and winning fights, but if you can survive that first 10 seconds, then you're allowed to CC them again. Pretty important for some certain combinations, such as a very powerful Jhin or, yeah, something with a lot of lifesteal. Woof! Goodbye, Vel'Koz. Goodbye, Zoe. It's kind of fun watching him assassinate characters, even though he's not really a threat.
You'll get me next time.
Alright, so we're down to 2 players. There's a risk here that we just double KO them. So we spend our gold, see what we hit. Which is probably a whole lot of nothing. But we're comfortable enough that why not? 3-star Soraka would be pretty funny. Look at that bench of Star Guardians. Nope. Alright. Now here we have a scary sniper comp. If that Jhin gets going online, it could wreck us. But thankfully they never get on the Syndra. Syndra does her job. And the fight's over pretty quick. No Mystics either. You really got to build Mystic. And we get our double KO. And we prove that Star Guardians can in fact win the game. Now granted they've been nerfed since you're playing them, but yeah, that's kind of how a Star Guardian comp works. You use Syndra or Ahri, use them as sort of the mana batteries. They can do a lot of damage. You can use Nico to keep the front line in control. Watch out for infiltrators. And yeah, you can get a pretty clear win there if you play it right. So, alright, that's going to do it for this video. There'll be one more. Make sure you check that out. And hopefully by now you're having fun with Galaxies on PvE, checking out all the new stuff, hopefully enjoying it. Make sure you give us feedback. Let us know if we can make anything better. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. Take it easy and see you in Galaxies.